FaderCast.
All right, Monday, what is it? 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Just got done with another full rehearsal for the show in Gelsenkirchen. And what's interesting is that's the thing that many people, either in sports or with many other things in life, they never understand that when I biked here today, I noticed that my ability to push through effort that my legs were, getting tired from biking. My ability to push through that has raised itself. It got higher now compared to a week ago only. And today I did the first rehearsal where I kind of had all the lyrics down. Even Tanz so 3-4, even those lyrics were fine from the beginning to the end. And it's always this thing where people hope for things to work fully from the start. So, as you know, over the last 4 weeks, I started with 30 minutes, then 60 minutes, now 90 minutes, and I biked every time to the rehearsal room and back, and which is 40 minutes of cardio. And today it was really noticeable that there was this little shift in level of ability. I didn't need to focus on the lyrics so much. Everything was much easier, and it's this approach that many people also with fitness, they don't understand, that you start with very little, and you don't even try harder than absolutely necessary, and then you build and build and build and build, and one day it's there, and it's probably sooner than if you try really hard from the beginning. And I was very happy today. That rehearsal went really well, and now I have three more rehearsals till the show, which means we'll be ready. I really suggest that you guys start some cardio. If you're coming to the show, you better be in shape, because it's not gonna be a slow, low energy show. Definitely not. Monday, 9 o'clock in the evening. I'm finished with working on the 2 Kid Moxie tracks, which were still missing some additional synths that Elena sent me a few days ago. And so I put them in and tried to make them work. Some of them worked, some of them I wasn't so sure about it. And that's what I wanted to talk about. I left Elena a message, or a few messages, where I said, the synths that you sent me, the melodies work, and generally the synths work too, but what you're losing now is the vibe of the song before, and now it is changing into something much more cheesy, much more 80s synth wave. And this is something that the producer, generally artists should pay attention to that, but this is especially something a producer has to pay attention to. Let's say in the beginning, you say you want to make a song that sounds like The Prodigy, but during some point in the production, the artist is just going off track too much. Then basically it's my job to say, it actually does work, but you're not doing what the original idea was anymore. And then you have to discuss, do we like the new version more, or should we go back to the original idea, or is there something that can be done? And I don't know, I just sent her the new version, which I put all the stuff in that she sent me. And now we have to see what she thinks, and what she thinks about my suggestion. Because I really think that working with me, the reason, one of the main reasons was to make it not sound like the way she usually sounds, while at the same time make it sound fitting with her rest of the music that she has. So we'll see how it goes. But so far, I think there is still a slight discrepancy between the goal that we kind of set when we wrote and the last versions. But that could also be just my impression right now, so we'll have to see on that. But it's important as a producer to keep in mind what the actual goal is, what the song and the vibe of the song should be like, and not just go any way the idea takes you, unless it's a brilliant idea or something.
FaderCast.
Tuesday, 2:30. I just came back from the gym, and I have a little story. I was, training my little old man routine there. Just getting back into it because this was only the second time. Last week was the first time in, I don't know, half a year that I was at an actual gym. And there's these two young guys. I don't know how old they were. 20, 19, 20, 21, something like that. Decent shape, like fit young guys, not super buff or anything, but in good shape. And they were speaking about, like, one of them said to the other, "Man, my low back always hurts. I need to sit down here." And I only noticed what they were saying, and then a little later I saw them again in a different area of the gym, and both of them were on their phones, standing with, I don't know, they looked like a question mark, literally. They were so bent over, and when I then looked at the guy who complained about back pain, I saw that his neck was, I can't say, maybe 45 degrees sticking out of his shoulder area. So his head was, I don't know how far in front of his spine, but it was a lot. It was very extreme for that age. I mean, we all know these really old people with their walkers who can't straighten up properly anymore, so their spine is like at a, I don't know, 45-degree angle in front of them. But I mean, this guy was 20, so I didn't say anything, but because it's not my job to say anything, but and usually when you say something, people don't listen to you anyway. But if you, for whatever reason, have any sort of back pain, you have to know two things. First, low back pain mostly does not stem from problems with the lower back. It usually stems from problems with the hip or from problems with the upper back. And especially in today's life, wherever you are now, if you're in some public place, just look around at people standing. They will all have their phones in their hand. It's amazing how when I stand in the train, I usually listen to some music or whatever, or a podcast, and so I'm just standing there looking at everyone, and I'm literally by far the tallest person, which is in Hamburg is not normal because everyone's huge here in Hamburg. But I'm by far the tallest person because even guys who are taller than me, they're bent forward with their heads down, looking at their phones, and this really really creates a lot of issues in the upper back because all the weight of your head, which is quite heavy, it gets much heavier because it's moving forward. So the weight that's pulling on the spine is getting bigger, and everything gets out of alignment. The hip gets pushed forward, and all of that creates problems in the lower back. So very, very often the lower back problems are not problems of actual disc degeneration or something like that. They're more often problems of instability and too much weight and too much bad positioning in the shoulders or hip area. And so next time you're standing somewhere, try that. Just grab your phone and scroll around and send someone a text. And before you put the phone away, just notice what your posture is like. And then try the opposite. Just squeeze your butt a little and place both of your hands behind your back. And just, raise your chin up. And you will notice you will probably be 10 centimeters, which is, what was that, 3 inches 4 inches taller than before, because that's a lot of bending over usually. Let me know if you noticed that, or if that helped you in any way, shape, or form. Send me an email at contact@faderhead.com if that helped you in any way.
Q&A.
Q&A is a segment where I answer your questions, as the title says. So if you have any questions, please email me at contact@faderhead.com, or, leave them as a DM or comment on my socials. You can also leave a voice message on anchor.fm/FaderCast. And to make it a little more interesting, I asked my lovely assistant Devanka, who owns the great voice that says FaderCast in between the different segments, I asked her to read the questions. So let's get to it.
DJ Writer is asking, I'd be curious to hear how the pandemic has affected your music, if at all. Do you find you're getting more done or less? How does your writing or publishing differ as a result?
How did the pandemic affect my music making, production process? Good question. I wouldn't say it has affected it in any way, because I did not write more or less songs. The only thing that changed was that I think I got more effective, and I started doing a lot of things that I hadn't been doing before, which is, record this podcast, record Mal was anderes podcast with Danny, start the beat of the week. I mean, the beat of the week, I think it existed a little bit before, but, do all these things that had been falling by the wayside before, because there was other things that I needed to do. And I did the stuff like create the online shop, which has all these different print-on-demand designs. Did the Ghost City thing. That's the thing that happened through the pandemic, because, I was pretty aware that most musicians would be feeling really sorry for themselves and just sit at home and do nothing. So I decided that I wouldn't do that, because, first of all, I don't like feeling sorry for myself. Second of all, I always think that if you have time to do what you usually like to do, then, Jesus, you have to do that. Otherwise, what the fuck are you doing? So my objective during the pandemic was to do all the stuff that I had either been putting off or hadn't been getting to before. And I think I did most of that. I got back into making videos, all that stuff that I hadn't been doing for a long time now at that point. So that's what changed. Other than that, I don't think the pandemic changed much about me making music. Simply because, I've been making so much music in the last 4 or 5 years that there wasn't really that much to be changed. I just posted this on my Instagram stories, and I saw that a post about an American band called Fleischkrieg, which in English would be Flesh War, which, English is a more lyrical, metaphorical language, and German Fleischkrieg doesn't exist. And it sounds, to me and probably to many other Germans, it sounds like, I don't know, someone is having trouble with his bowel movements, or is eating Sülze, which is the most disgusting meat you can eat. And I had to laugh, and then I just, it just compelled me to post that you can't really just combine two German words, like two English words, translate them into German, then combine them and then have your band name, because it just doesn't work like that. Things mean different things in other languages. And so as of now, if you are a band that wants to have a German name, but you're not a German speaking band, please feel free to hit me up. It's going to cost you absolutely nothing. just email me and say, we're thinking of using this name, let's say Fußarsch, as a as our band name. Is that a good idea? And I will absolutely help you with your band name. Fußarsch. Don't do that.
FaderCast.
My first job as a band naming consultant has been very successful because I helped my friend Andre Winter to name his new his new side project, which I suggested should be called Wintermaschine or Das Wintermaschine, because a lot of American bands that choose German names, they add an article in front of it and they get the article wrong. In German, you have 3 different articles, der, die, das, which you use depending on if the thing that gets the article is if it's masculine, feminine, or neutral. And the American, English in general, only has the as the article. So that's like for any kind of gender, or whatever you want to call that. So very often they use the wrong article, and mostly it's das, because the is a generally neutral thing. And so you have things like das Bunker. And I suggested Andre calls this thing Das Wintermaschine, but he thought Fleischwinter, Winterfleisch. I don't remember which way around. Fleischwinter would be the better idea. So first name successfully named.
FaderCast.
Friday, 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm just done with the rehearsal. And today was the first rehearsal where I got bored. And that's always the best sign. Once I get bored and start thinking about completely unrelated things or related things, like, I don't know, where are we going to put monitors? And, stuff like that during the rehearsal, then that's a good sign that I'm going towards autopilot. And for me, as I said many times before, because I have very, very bad short-term memory, I have to be on autopilot, because that kind of means that lyrics and everything have gone from short-term into mid-term or long-term memory. So that was very, very good today. And one more rehearsal before the show, maybe 2, but probably only 1. And then this will be good. Oh yeah, I'm always asked if I'm nervous before shows, and the answer is always no, because either you're prepared or you're not prepared, and there's not that much that can go wrong that's completely disastrous. But especially if I'm prepared enough, like I am probably now, that only very minor things can go wrong. And just that I'm saying this now means that a lot of things will go wrong next week. But you know what I mean? Like, what's going to happen? Some laptop will break down. We'll have more than one. I forget my lyrics. Nobody cares. Everybody knows that I forget lyrics. And what else can happen? I can't fall off stage because the stage is on the ground, and the fucking tent could burn down. But who cares? I mean, then we're all dead. I mean, that's one of the things there where you don't even think about it, because it's, first of all, it's such a tiny chance that will happen, and if it happens, it's completely out of my control. So right now, I've probably done everything so far that I needed to do that is in my control, and now I'm very relaxed about the show. Thank you for listening to this episode of FaderCast. If you have any questions or suggestions, please email me at contact@faderhead.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Faderhead_official, and everywhere else just under Faderhead. Please be a friend and tell a friend about this podcast, and hopefully until next time.
FaderCast.